Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Brandy.
Guess what we're talking about today?
The Oscars?
Oh my God, my favorite thing in the whole wide world. This is our Super Bowl. This is definitely my Super Bowl. Fuck the real Super Bowl.
Yeah, no.
Except for J-Lo, obviously. This is our Super Bowl, you guys. We're coming to you with another theme episode. Surprise, surprise.
We're all about the themes.
We're all about the themes, and we're all about the Academy Awards, which is why we're talking about the highs, the lows, and the what the fuck was that? All of that from last night's episode, the 92nd Annual Academy Awards. Kristen, any just quick thoughts before we get into our FMKs of the telecast?
I was like, most of the night I was like, okay,
It's fine.
okay. That's like a high-pitched okay.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sort of like a mid-level, this is fine.
I am getting a little tired of the like self-aware Oscar so white jokes,
Yeah.
but that's not, I hope I didn't steal your thunder on any of your
No,
things.
no, not at all. You bring up a good point, which is that I feel like last night's episode was, in general, like a theme could have been, we're talking about being very self-aware, and yet.
Yeah. It's like every show, like mainstream show that has product placement in it, like when Chuck had the Subway ads. But like after a while, it was like, okay, you can only joke so much about these being Subway ads before it's like,
Right.
woof. Like if this happens again next year, I'm done.
Yeah.
But this year, it was funny.
Yes. Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a total dumpster fire, but
Yeah.
not a laugh riot.
Yeah.
So like we did in our Golden Globes episode, we thought we would start by picking our best dressed of the evening. So Kristen, you go first.
I know we're supposed to pick one, so I have.
That's okay.
the
I cheated
one.
too.
Okay, I have the one that like if I were on a desert island and I could only wear one thing for the rest of my life and it had to be fabulous,
Okay.
it would be Janelle Monáe's crystal gown with hood, because I felt like it was both exceptionally fashion forward and elegant, but also completely in the spirit of her, right? Like
Yes.
she it wasn't like something that was so weird and shoehorned into her character too. So that's mine.
That is next level. I am so glad that you picked that because I feel like she walked on the carpet and just like shut the place down. Very good pick. So I had a really tough time. Like I would pick one and then I would be like, cool, no one else is going to walk out and change my mind. Absolutely. I need nothing else out of this life. And then somebody would come on and I would be like, God damn it. So I have a list of 6.
Yeah.
But I think if I had to pick one that I would wear, like if I had to go to the Oscars tomorrow, twist my arm, take me to the Academy Awards, it would be Olivia Colman's Blue Velvet number.
Oh, interesting. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. So normally I'm like, I'm kind of in your wavelength. I'm a sort of head to toe shimmer, something very, in an interesting color, something in an interesting shape. I'm not sort of your traditional, structured gown kind of person. It's got to be different. But hers was that.
Yeah.
And it was like velvet, and it was like both slimming and also like it had the big shoulders with those big giant
wings. Yeah.
And it made me think that like she pretty much always comes out in something different.
Yeah.
Like it's a beautiful, beautiful gown, but it's just a little bit different.
Yep.
She never wears just like your run of the mill red carpet dress, and she looks fucking cool as hell. And if I had to slip into one of those gowns tomorrow, it would be that.
Like if we were in a caper and like the backdrop was the Oscars and we had to like pull somebody behind the bushes and put dresses on, you'd be putting hers on?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, I'd do Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
For sure.
That would be a really sexy pair.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
Just real quick, did you have like a second runner-up that was like real close, or was she pretty much a runaway?
Okay, so definitely she was in like the upper echelon. My honorable mentions would be Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, me too. She's
which was
my
just
second.
like woof. Like that was so amazing.
I mean, how does
breathtaking.
she exist like that?
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
And then I also really liked Sandra Oh's.
Oh, okay.
It was not something, if I saw it on the rack, I'd be like, no, thank you. Hard pass. But I loved it on her.
Yeah.
And it made me love the dress.
She looked beautiful. Yeah. So my second runner-up was actually also goddess Cynthia Erivo. She just like came down from on high, and I don't know how she looks like that. But my runner-up after that is Maya Rudolph, actually, in the orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also always wears funky stuff.
Yeah.
But her little bob and just the shape and the color was, there were a lot of similar colors, as there always are, but that orange was like chef's kiss.
How do they have like a is there a memo that goes around that's like, this year we're wearing nude tones? This year
They must have like a Slack channel or something of what's on trend. Big shoulders and like that soft pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good pick. Okay, so
Let's get on with the show.
let's hand out those awards.
Welcome to Pop Culture Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Every episode, we'll be breaking down the good, the best, and the absolute trash in pop culture and decide whether we want to fuck, marry, or kill them.
We won't ever be fuck, marry, or killing any people because we're classy bitches, but all the stuff we're consuming way too much of in the pop culture stratosphere.
It's the classic game you know and love, but this time it's got a spicy pop culture twist.
We're your hosts. I'm Kristen Gunn.
And I'm Brandy Johnson, and this is Pop Culture Fuck, Marry, Kill.
This episode of Pop Culture Fuck, Marry, Kill is brought to you by My Grandma Nana's IRA. Thanks, Nana, for saving your post-depression pennies and leaving me with enough money to get a liberal arts degree from a private college, then half-heartedly follow my dreams of becoming a filmmaker, not succeed, and start a podcast. Because Grandma Nana's IRA money won't last forever, if you'd like to sponsor Pop Culture Fuck, Marry, Kill, reach out to us at 805-628-BOOP, B-O-O-P. That's 805-628-2667.
Okay, so now we're in it. Kristen, the award for your fuck of the Oscars 2020 goes to?
All of the musical performances. Not all of them. Most of the musical performances. I would
Oh.
say that musical performances in the Oscars are generally kind of like lip service to the songs, and they're really ultimately kind of annoying, with rare exception. Obviously, my favorite, weirdly, is, I don't know if you remember, many years ago, Robin Williams sang "Blame Canada" from South Park.
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
We've got a clip of it.
And finally, with Blame Canada, from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, please welcome Academy Award winner, Robin Williams.
Oh my God, they killed Kenny! Times have changed. Our kids are getting worse. They won't obey their parents. They just want to fart and curse.
We could just cut it off there.
The government
I don't remember this at all.
Everybody treat yourself. I don't really give a shit about South Park, but that is like one of my favorite moments of all time, because one, the South Park movie got nominated for an Oscar.
Sure.
And then they had Robin Williams do it, which was perfect. And also Robin Williams just gives me all the happy feels now. So
Yeah.
anyway, that holds a treasured place in my heart. But I will say all of the music, most of the music, including obviously Janelle Monáe's amazing opening number. Like, she fucking crushed it. And also I love it when they crush it, but also have some humor.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
She at one point was in the entire, like the poncho of flowers from Midsummer, which I was just like, yes, I'm here for this all day long. So that was amazing. And then, like I alluded to in our intro, Cynthia Erivo's performance from Harriet.
Oh, it was excellent.
I mean, I know she's been a Broadway actress for a while, but I was not aware of her. And she just kind of like sprang forth from the clamshell like Venus herself, and
Yeah.
now I want to worship her in all things.
Yeah, she's got a Tony. She's been nominated for an Oscar now. I do not see a world that we exist in which she does not EGOT.
Yeah.
I feel like very soon.
Let's get her that book on tape so she can get a Grammy. Stat.
Yeah. Yeah, good pick. I would agree with that. Mostly.
We'll get to the, you know, I'm going to telegraph some other stuff for myself too. But, you know,
Yeah.
there was a couple of just really, like, I mean, I even liked Idina Menzel's.
I thought that was lovely.
Like the Frozen song. Everybody's like, boo. It's like so popular to hate Frozen. But, like, I fucking like Frozen.
Yeah,
Like-
so do I. And I thought what they did was very cool.
Yeah, with
It's
all-
like the most popular thing on the planet. So for them to acknowledge like how far and wide it's gone
By
was-
having all of the, if you didn't see it, all of the different voice actresses that played Elsa, or at least sang the parts of Elsa, all got a little moment on stage, or many of them did anyway.
Yeah,
in
that was
some other
very cool,
languages.
I thought.
Yeah.
I especially liked the little elfin girl in the back with that like spooky. It was very ethereal, but also very scary.
I saw it and I just cackled because I thought of you.
Wait, why?
Because it kind of reminded me of what's her fucking face from the weird one from the new Little Women,
The weird one.
the one that dies, Beth.
Oh, Beth. Oh, Eliza Scanlon from Sharp Objects.
Yes. It was just like this like little weird girl that like
little Beth.
like the light comes on and she's like in the background.
If that had been Beth, oh my God, I would have lost my mind. I'm still waiting on someone to do the supercut of all the weird shots to Beth's face in Greta Gerwig's Little Women. YouTube, come through. Okay, excellent pick. Yeah, I specifically, I had it on my list. Janelle Monáe's opening I thought was crazy good, and like it was fun, it was energetic, it was funny. She had like call outs to a bunch of stuff in it that if you blinked you missed it.
Yep.
I watched it again this morning and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I thought, okay, that's great. I actually want to play a little clip of it here.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the 6-minute performance.
And repeat after me. La 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 la. Say. La 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 la. Ha. La 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 la. Yeah. La 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 la. Tonight we celebrate all the amazing talent in this room. We celebrate all the women who directed phenomenal films. And I'm so proud to stand here as a black, queer artist telling stories. Happy Black History Month.
Like just so much, just everything about that.
Yeah. So Brandy, this leads me to ask you, what is in your envelope?
So the award for Fuck of the Oscars 2020 for me goes to a Parasite sweep / none for Sam Mendes.
I mean, they did get cinematography.
Oh, sure. Which for me is really like,
Fine.
way to go, Roger Deakins, because like
Yeah.
what you did in the movie was phenomenal. And look, I'm not here to be like a shithead about Sam Mendes. Like the movie was good. I thought it was good. But like, I can't explain. I'm like still on a high from last night. If you didn't watch, so Parasite was up for, you know, all of the big ones: director, picture, original screenplay, editing. Didn't have any acting categories. And so was 1917. For a long time, everyone thought 1917 was going to take it. They were winning the BAFTAs. They were winning.
Yeah, it seemed like it was peaking. It was like
Totally.
Bernie Sanders peaking right before the Iowa caucuses.
Yes. And it was like, just going to take it. It's a war movie. Sam Mendes has won Oscars before. You know, could the Academy really give a non-English movie Best Picture, since it's definitely going to take international feature? That seems to be like the consolation prize. That's what happened with Roma. So, you know, all of the experts were saying, I don't know, can it take it all? It took Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. I think I must be missing one. It must have taken.
Yeah, I got 4.
It did get 4 because I remember putting that on my Instagram. Oh, an international feature, yeah. Which is it's the first movie in history to be non-English language to win Best Picture. And to win international feature and Best Picture, of course. And this is a huge deal. First of all, I think, in my humble opinion, I think Parasite was the best movie of the year last year.
It wasn't mine.
It was definitely my favorite movie of the year last year. And I did see all Best Pictures. I watched Joker.
You did?
Yes, I watched Joker on the plane back from Ireland. Yeah.
Wow.
We haven't had a chance to talk about it, but
we'll talk about that offline.
yeah, I mean, what's there to say besides woof? So yeah, anyway, I'm just like every speech from Bong and the producers and anyone else involved in the movie was so incredibly gracious and just so humble and so charming. I just still can't get over the fact that it actually managed to win because it should have won. And I just thought, well, there's no fucking way this stale-ass Academy is going to give what it should give to this movie. And it fucking did. And I just can't believe it. And also Sam Mendes is known to be kind of like a pompous jackass. So I'm like kind of glad he didn't get it.
Is he still married to Kate Winslet?
No.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
I also really liked that it was lady producers that were up there accepting those Oscars. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I was super sexist because I was like, oh.
So was I.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. And also like the last one, her little speech was like so cute.
Also, the fact that like they shut them off and then the whole crowd was like up, up, up to turn up the lights and turn the music off so that they could finish, and then they did, and I was like, yes,
that was a moment. So that is my fuck because I still am weak in the knees from it. So
very good, very good.
Okay, Kristen Gunn. We're on to the Marys of the Oscars. What's in the envelope? Okay,
so you mentioned that Parasite was your best movie of 2019. I would say it was in my top couple. But my favorite movie of 2019 was Jojo Rabbit.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent.
I actually watched a back-to-back double feature of Jojo Rabbit and Parasite. I watched Jojo Rabbit first, and so I was actually like in a kind of a place when it was over. I wasn't expecting as much tragedy in it as there was, and so, I go into Parasite a little bit like, dealing with that. So I think maybe it wasn't fair, but love Parasite. Love Jojo Rabbit a little more because I think maybe it just speaks to my soul. So I just want to marry the fact that Tiki Wakaka.
Good. Very good, Kristen. Taika Waititi.
I wish I remember what John Travolta called Idina Menzel. Nazim Petrasa.
No, it was Adele Nazim or Adele Dazim. Something like that, yeah. Which weirdly, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. There were like 3 jokes about that last night.
Yeah, because John Travolta's like an easy punching bag.
And also, like, everyone loves Idina Menzel.
Say his name one more time.
Taika Waititi. Also, for what it's worth, I think we should keep this in.
Okay.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi, is he married? Because if I have anything to do with it, he will be soon.
That's a great question. I actually don't know.
I was looking.
But he's like really got it going on right now.
I freaking love him. Like, I love his humor. I knew when Jojo Rabbit came out, I was like, I'm really going to enjoy this. The fact that he is indigenous and he's also Jewish, and then he chose to play Hitler, I was like, I am fucking here for your dark ass humor and the irreverence of that and just like the middle finger to Hitler across the board. So I'm happy he won Best Adapted Screenplay, and I'm really happy that he got, that's the other consolation prize, right? Best Adapted Screenplay or Best Original Screenplay versus Best Director. So he'll get a Best Director in the future.
Definitely.
And maybe I'll be sitting right next to him.
Oh, man. And you'll be wearing something like
Janelle Monáe.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be good times.
Pray.
2024.
Bless this union.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Thank you, Brandy. So what is in your envelope for Mary of the 2019 Academy Awards?
I'm torn because I have 2. And they both equally make me so divinely happy that I want to be in a throuple with them both.
Okay, I'm happy for you.
So, and I feel safe that I can say them both and that you aren't going to pick them because we're already past the 2 good categories.
Yeah, I'm not going to kill this.
There's no possible way.
Okay.
So I want to be in a throuple with these 2 moments, and I'm definitely cheating, but we make this podcast and the rules, so who cares? The first moment is obviously the Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig singing the musical compilation to introduce a costume designer.
Yeah.
Obviously, their whole bit was, I mean, they walk out and you're just like, well, let me just settle in for these 4 minutes because it's going to be a delight. But it really got into the velvety goodness whenever they did their first award and then they moved on to the costume design and they sang a little song.
Okay, the nominees for Best Costume Design are...
Wait. That's it? We can't just skip right to the award.
You're right. You're right. So much goes into costume design. What else should we say?
Well, maybe we don't say it.
Maybe we sing it.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over. You've got the look. You've got the look. Sure enough to be cooking in my Adidas. Oh, devil with the blue dress, blue dress, blue dress, devil with the blue dress on Blueberry Hill.
This is long, but I'm just going to play the whole thing.
And Monroe, Dietrich, and Lady in Red is dancing with me. Cheek to cheek, cheek to cheek, and a thong, 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 thong.
That's the best part.
You can leave your hat on.
Yeah, so I would say it had been kind of a dry spell for a bit. There's no host, so there's kind of, again, it wasn't a dumpster fire of a telecast, but there was like the high of the Janelle Monáe, then it would kind of be dry for a while, and then you'd have like a great pairing come out like this, or later, Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and then maybe someone else a little bit later, but in between it could tend to sag.
So are you pro host or are you pro this new where everybody gets kind of a boop?
That's a really good question. I don't think that the last 2 years with no host has been a failure. I do miss some semblance of a through line to bring it through.
Yeah.
But I do think that sometimes they really try to shoehorn in crap when they have one person trying to do the through line.
Yeah.
So by doing like each person gets a little boop, like it's actually...
They can put a little more into it.
Yeah, because like this, the opening number, the Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus thing, there were a couple of other ones.
I wasn't even mad at when Chris Rock and Steve Martin came out. Like at first they came out and I was like, ugh. But it was actually, it was good. It was funny.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I actually was like, okay, we got out. That was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, way to go, everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say, I don't know, maybe pro host and they keep just putting really excellent pairs together, or just excellent single people, which leads me to the other moment that I want to be in this marriage with, which is when my queen, Olivia Colman, came out to intro Best Actor. I think you have her come to an award show. She's either going to win or she's going to present something, and she's going to steal that moment completely. And she did just that.
Winning an Oscar ages you. Hello there. Thank you for having me back. It's such a pleasure to be here. Last year was the best night of my husband's life. He actually says that, and I've given birth 3 times. So I hope you're all having as good a time as he did, and as I did.
Yeah, so that made me laugh and smile and be filled with the warm fuzzies so much. So both of those moments, I'm now in a very happy marriage with both of them.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to Oscars. I'm going to telegraph 2024 when I'm there with
Taika Waititi.
I'm going to have to learn that before we actually meet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and you are there maybe across the aisle with Olivia Colman and Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig.
Oh,
It's
man.
going to be good times.
What a dream. All right, the time has come. What's in the envelope for your kill of the Oscars 2020?
Okay, Brandy. So
Let me guess.
does it start with a B and end in an Eilish?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to start with an M&M.
Oh, well, okay. So it's
I
it
couldn't
starts
come up with
with
something quick enough
an
for that.
M and an ends in an M.
Yeah.
Well, so it's all under the same umbrella. So the Oscars is not generally known for like needing to like slapdash some like youngsters,
The
and I use
youths?
that in the air quotes, or like, you know, the like the things that like the Golden Globes might do, or the Grammys might do, or like, you know, the MTV Movie Awards might do. The lesser awards
Sure.
will add names to the entertainment slate, or even to the award nominee categories, just to get people to watch, to
Yes.
juice the ratings. And that's really not something the Oscars is known for. And this year, it's like, why the fuck is Black China walking the runway at the Oscars? I mean, there's no reason for her to be there. Maybe one day she'll write an amazing screenplay and she should be there on her merits for that. And I'm looking forward to that date, 2024. But until then, what the fuck, right? She's a D-list reality TV star.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If there was a legitimate reason for her to be there and I'm being a dick, I would like to know. I'd like to be wrong about that. But then you have like Billie Eilish singing the In Memoriam, and you have Eminem from what that movie was like 2001.
It was from 2002, and he won the Oscar at the 2003 Academy Awards, but was not there to perform that song. So 17 years later, they said, "Hey, bud, we got a spot."
I really feel like some 70-year-old producer is like, we got to get a fresh young musical act in here. Well, like last year it was Adam Lambert. I know he leads Queen now, so like I guess that was the reason why he was there. You can like squint at that and it makes sense.
Sure.
But like to open the show, I don't know. And then this year there was just a lot of like, what the fuck casting choices for people that were there. And Academy Awards are better than that.
They are. The Eminem thing, I really just don't get. Like, okay, so like, imagine you're the producers of the show. Like, everything that you do in the show is tied to something. It has a reason to be there. So let's pretend that in 2020 they thought it would be cool to do a retrospective of 20 years ago. So you had musical numbers come out from the
Celine Dion.
2000 Oscars, right? How cool. It's been, we're in a new decade, 20 years ago. What a fun look back that would be.
I think Celine Dion, that is 20 years. That was
For Titanic.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
No, that was earlier
No,
than
that would have
that.
been 1998.
Yeah.
But still, like 2000 Oscars were a huge year because 1999 was a huge year for movies.
Yeah.
So like think about the things they could have done
They
for
could have
that.
had Kevin Spacey come out for American Beauty.
Well, Keanu was there. They could have done shit for Matrix, like, bunch of stuff they could have done. And it would have been like, oh, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Same thing with Queen. Last year it was like, yeah, maybe it was sort of like a little hokey, but also tangentially, the Queen movie was nominated, and so it like had a very thin hairline through line, right?
But don't have Adam Lambert open the Oscars. But it's still, there was still a reason.
You could talk to a producer who said, this is why we did this.
Right.
The Eminem thing is like, huh now? Wait, what? It's not like a milestone. 17 years have passed. The song isn't connected to anything. It's not like it was used in another movie. Eminem isn't like in another movie or has music for another movie. it's not like the Oscars were like, this year we're broadcasting live from Detroit. Like, I have no idea. I will rack my brain forever wondering why they chose to do this. I need to hear from the Academy. This is why we chose to do
I am
this.
certain there will be articles out this week. You remember how after the Super Bowl with Katy Perry, where like Left Shark was a thing, and then there was like 10 interviews with Left Shark, and it was like, he was trying to play it off like it was a creative interpretation.
Right.
I was representing all of the cast-offs. I'm sure there will be some sort of explainer, but it won't be the real explanation. It's a cover-up.
Absolutely. But like, again, I'm glad we got that, and they had to cut off like the one super genuine acceptance speech. I forget what it was for at the time, but it was like, it was the hair and makeup styling who won for Bombshell, and it was like this pairing. They were so genuinely gracious and just so happy that they won, and they got completely cut off. And I'm like, well, thank goodness that we spent 6 minutes watching Lose Yourself from Eminem. That's perfect.
My favorite, this is another way to shoehorn in a different conversation. My favorite Oscar moment ever was, do you remember the movie Once?
Yes.
With Glenn Hansard?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they won, I think it was like maybe Best Original Song.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. If you've never seen the movie, it's like a bittersweet romance, not a romantic comedy. It's just like a bittersweet love story, and it's just eloquently done. It's very understated, super indie movie, and I thinking they won for Best Original Song because there's a lot of music in it, and Glenn Hansard and his female love interest in the movie, whose name I can't remember, they both get up to say thank you, and he gives his thank you speech, and then he steps to the side of the mic to give her moment, and like they play her out, right? And then after, and it was like the saddest, like she has the sweetest, you should go Google it online, she has the sweetest little like sad wave, and then but she's being gracious about it. She's like, thank you, I'm happy to have an Oscar, and she walks off. And then after the commercial break, it was Jon Stewart who was hosting. He comes out and he's like, I'm sorry, I just have to give whatever her name is her moment. And she comes out, and then she proceeds to give the most eloquent, like, follow your dreams, do art speech. And I know there's a lot of those, but this one like had me in tears, and I've listened to it in years since then, and it really holds up. So if you need a kick in the pants to like find yourself and do some fucking art, go watch that. Once acceptance speech, best moment ever at the Academy Awards for me.
Oh man. Also, we miss you, John.
Yeah, come back to us. It's dark times.
It is dark times. Okay.
All right, Brandy. So what is in your envelope for the kill of the 2019 Academy Awards?
The 2020 Academy Awards.
I've been saying 2019. It's not 2019 because it's for the 2019.
I know, but it's still the way they say it is the 2020.
I mean,
anyway, here we are.
We're not re-recording that.
Nope. Okay, so big surprise. I told you I watched Joker on the plane back from my work trip. I want to kill Joaquin Phoenix's acceptance speech, where he told us like it's bad to drink milk. Look, do I think that his performance was quite good? Yes.
What? Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I never thought there was any denying, but even before I had seen this movie that I knew I was going to hate, I knew there was no denying that his performance was good, and it is good. I don't doubt that. I do think the movie is a little reductive and very problematic in the way that it seems to shine a light and celebrate, if you've been beat down and you have mental illness and the world is hard for you, that you can just go out and buy a gun and shoot people and then it's kind of okay.
Yeah, like fetishizes incel culture.
It does.
Yeah.
And I feel like the conversation around like why it was important to make that movie from the director Todd Phillips, and why it was important to show that that's how Joker came to be, is also problematic. And so I have a lot of problems with the movie itself. I can't deny, though, the performance that he gave was good. But his acceptance speeches have always been problematic. He's had a few bad ones. One relatively good one, I think, was at the SAGs. His speech was actually okay. It was coherent and pretty good. His Globes one, where he told everyone to stop using private jets, was bizarro. And then this one was so strange. He gets up there. He looks pained. I mean, he looks physically pained that he's been burdened with this chore.
Yeah.
He gets up there and he immediately is like, no, sit down, just stop it. And he like makes people, please, just enough. This is enough. And I'm like, oh, fucking boy, great. So he then goes on this whole rant about like fucking veganism and sustainability and all that stuff, which we know is a big cause for him. He's been vegan his whole life. He grew up in this sort of like big hippy dippy.
He's like kind of commune.
Yes, it's a whole thing for him, and he's been behind sort of this whole movement to like make all these award shows vegan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he goes on this whole thing about like, and it's the tone in which he's giving it too is like, in his Globe speech, in his SAG speech, he had like this energy to him. It was almost this sort of like manic, frenetic energy. The Joaquin that we know, where you're just sort of like, oh boy, where'd you come from? And this energy at the Oscars was so like morose and sad while he was telling us that like we torture these calves and we steal their milk, and drinking milk is so bad. And I was just like, okay, cool. To each their own. You can have that opinion if you want. That's your opinion, man. I'm still going to drink milk. Also, I don't give a fuck about that right now. You can definitely use this platform to like say whatever opinion you want to say. Usually people use it to make a political statement. I guess you can say veganism is a political statement, but like I don't care that you're telling me that we should like not eat animals and not drink their milk and stuff. And it also sort of felt like it was a put upon act. Like he felt very much like he was putting on some sort of performance. And I think that's kind of the problem that I have with him sometimes is that like, it's hard to know when he's being genuine and like being like a method actor.
I really can't wait for like 20 years from now when Timothée Chalamet plays him in the biopic. Like it will be peak insufferability and it will be amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a good call. 2024?
Maybe a little too soon.
Maybe a little too soon.
Yeah.
But so all of that to say that he ends the speech with this, what I think was a really raw and emotional moment where he brings up his brother River and says this quote that his brother had. And that's how he ends the speech. And I actually think, man, if he had just gotten up there and said even just that one thing, didn't thank anyone, but just said like that one thing, people would talk about that speech forever because it was just the one thing.
Right.
You know, but he went on this whole fucking rant about milk and it's just like, cool. Okay. And to that end, thank God this insufferable ride is over and we can put this behind us. So anyway, all of that, I want to kill. I want to kill it so hard. Okay, so those were our big 3 awards.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them out.
Mm-hmm.
Any honorable mentions that just didn't quite make the cut?
Yeah. So a little mini Mary that I have is you know, the world's burning around us, but what a time to be alive for all of the reaction gifts we're getting. And I will add an addendum to my trashing of Billie Eilish. She giveth the great reaction gif.
Oh, being 17.
Yeah, with like, you know, like whatever, you know, market research determined her hair needed to look like that for her brand. But her reaction gifs are amazing, and particularly the reaction gif when Eminem was performing.
Oh, so good.
So amazing. And it really like put an exclamation point on the end of the sentence of why the fuck is Eminem here? So it's a snake eating its tail of like pop culture weird, but I'm here for the gif.
Truly the definition of the world we live in.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I have a mini Mary also, and it is the documentary short winner. So learning to skateboard in a war zone if you're a girl, won for a documentary live action short. And the winners were, I'm going to butcher their names, but it was a pair of women, Carol Dysinger and Elena Andreycheva. And they got up there, and the main woman, I think it was Carol correct me if I'm wrong, she gave this just boom, powerful, kick in the fucking teeth speech. She's been working in Afghanistan for like over 10 years to make this film. She spoke to how hard it can be to be a woman in the Hollywood industry, in the film industry. She had been given like a student Oscar from like a long time ago and thought, oh, this is going to be so easy now. And everyone chuckled and laughed. And yeah, it was just sort of, it was really, really powerful to listen to her, having worked in a place where it's so hard to be a girl. And now I really want to watch that film. And I always do this to myself, where I do a disservice where I don't watch the documentary stuff because I know it's just going to make me very, very, very sad. But I very much want to watch Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone If You're a Girl, because that speech was pure power. So I want to marry it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. The Alamo Drafthouse does screenings of the live action shorts.
That's right.
And the animated shorts. And I went and watched those this year. It's always a treat. They're always good.
I never do that, but yeah, I should.
It's really worth it. Okay, so the last mini, it's also a mini Mary.
Okay.
Lots of Marys to go around this week.
Okay.
We talked a lot about the wardrobe at the beginning. One thing we didn't talk about was Natalie Portman's on point stitching on her cape that said the names of the female directors that were not nominated for Best Director. And so I was watching the Oscars on a delay and actually saw on social that she had done that before I saw it. And when I saw it, I didn't see the photo of it. I just saw like a headline. And I was like, "Bugh, bugh." I had visions in my head of like Angelina Jolie's wedding dress where it's like, kid, writing all over it, like, Greta. And then like when I actually saw the photo and her dress was like fabulous. And then the way it was stitched on there, I was like, okay. I can do this. And it might be one of my favorite things I've ever seen her wear, too.
Yes, she was actually an honorable mention she was right under Maya Rudolph for Best Dress for me. I thought she looked fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought that up because I thought it was very tastefully done. It didn't feel privileged in an obnoxious way. It felt very, very nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yep.
So I have another one, which is I guess this goes under. This is like a fuck or a kill. I honestly don't know. It's so confusing to me. But it was the Diane Keaton and Keanu Reeves moment because I don't know what's wrong with Diane.
She's never really been all there.
No, but she was like really off last night. Like, normally I'm like, ha 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 ha, Diane, you kook. But last night it was like, Diane, blink twice if you're okay. And thank God Keanu was just like, hey, I'm here for this party. And he just like kept it going on. Love me some Keanu. But yeah, that moment was hard to watch. I watched it again later and I was like, oh, this is hard to watch the second time too. Like, it's very uncomfortable. And that's why I don't like. Maybe it's just no. I don't know where it fits. I just wanted to bring it up honestly and talk about it with somebody. Yeah, and then I have one more that I want to slip in, which is say what you will about Shia LaBeouf. I thought it was cool that he had a movie come out last year called The Peanut Butter Falcon, and it stars a kid named Zach Gottsagen, probably butchered that name also, who has Down syndrome. And he and Zach presented an award last night, and Zach made history as the first presenter with Down syndrome to present an award at the Oscars ever. And it made me really happy. So that is a Mary for me, just a tiny little Mary.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really touching.
I didn't know that. I would have thought there have been several notable actors with Down syndrome. I wouldn't have thought it would have taken this long. But
yeah, me neither. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. What did you think of this year's Oscars? Did you actually love Eminem's performance? We can obviously agree to disagree on all the things. But as always, please give us a call and tell us your thoughts. Leave us a message at 805-628-BOOP. That's 805-628-2667. And we might just play it on the show.
If you can, whoever has the most compelling reason, real or not, if you can like apples to apples, best reason why the Eminem performance was good on our voicemail, whoever wins I will draw a cartoon on a $5 bill, pop culture, fuck, marry, kill style, and we will mail it to you. Or I'll hand it to you in person if I know you, because most of the people that listen to us are friends.
Yeah, if you're like a freaky deaky stranger, she's not going to meet you in person.
I mean, if you're Tiki Wakaka, then...
Oh, boy. Give us a call.
That's it for the show this week. Thanks for listening. If you don't already, please be sure to subscribe to Pop Culture FMK on Instagram, Twitter, and check us out at popculturefmk.com. And tell one friend about us this week.
Parasite forever!
I love you, Tiki.
Taika.
Taika!
Taika.